So, good morning, everyone. So, let's continue from where we stopped. So, having populated the setup and the purchase cost for our period one, as shown here, we need to proceed in populating our costs in order for us to obtain the optimum cost for period one. So, in doing that, we have our holding cost. We have our holding cost here, the calculation of our holding cost based on this formula we actually have here, based on the foundational formula, our H1, our holding cost into bracket xi plus 1. Since we are considering our first period, that will be xi, where our I is 1 plus 1, that is x2. So that's what we have there. And from what we actually obtained from the previous video, we know that our x2 spans from what 0 to 6. So that's actually have this one here. So calculating this in our h1 into bracket x of 2, that's our h1, our holding cost. We are given in our question our holding cost for period 1. The holding cost for period 1 was given in the question. Sorry, let me just go straight to that. Okay. Our holding cost, as you can see here, for our period 1 is 1. So that's why we actually have 1 here. So 1 multiplied by 0 when x2 is equal to 0, and 1, what's the corner? Our holding cost is 1. That's 1 multiplied by 0. For this period 1, our holding cost is fixed. For this period 1, our holding cost is, which is 1. So 1 multiplied by 0, 0. 1 multiplied by 1, 1. 1 multiplied by 2, 2. 1 multiplied by 3, 3. 1 multiplied by 4, 4. 1 multiplied by 5, 5. 1 multiplied by 6, 6. So these are what you actually be using in actually populating the table we have here. So right now, we need to actually go to in populating the table when x2 is equal to 0 and q1 is 2. This when q1 is 2 and x2 is 0. So we populate that first. So, but prior to that, let me quickly give us just remind ourselves on our schematic diagram, as it's very useful in populating this table. You know that from the schematic we have right. So based on the problem we are given, this one will be x1, this one our period 1, our period 2. So this is a quantity we are producing, right, in period 1, and this is the demand you are meeting in period 1. So the inventory that is left here will go to what? Period 2. So this one will be our x2, right? This one will be our quantity we are producing in our period 2, and this will be the demand. This will be our demand that we're actually meeting in period 2. So like that's I plus 2, right? So like that. So and for optimality, we are expected to have the summation of our inventory and our quantity produced should be equal to our demand met and the inventory going out of period 1. You understand? Such that our x1 should be x2 plus d1 minus what? Minus q1, right? So let's have an understanding of this and now actually obtain this. And then from our question, we're given our x1 to be equal to 1. From our question, our x1 was given to be equal to 1. As you can see here, our x1 is given to be equal to 1, and we're actually given in the question that our x of 1, that's our cost of this particular inventory, is equal to 0. Do you understand? The cost when x is equal to 1 is equal to 0. The cost when s is equal to 1 is equal to 0. You understand? So this will actually help us, understanding this particular concept will really help us in populating this table and subsequent tables. Do you understand? So let's go back to our question. So right now we need to find our f of, since we are considering our first period now, this one will be x2, right? So this our purchase and setup cost now for when q1 is equal to 2. We obtain that here, which is 23. So that will be 23 plus our holding cost, our H1, our xi plus 1. You know we are considering our first period. This will be x2. So, and we actually calculated it here, right? For this particular one, it's going to be 0, right? So, fi minus 1, I minus 1, that is f subscript 0. And this one will be x2, right? Plus our d1 minus our q1, right? And plus 0 plus f naught. From our schematic here, from our schematic derivation here, our x2 minus plus d1 minus q1 is what? Our x1, right? Is our x1. So literally anything we actually obtain here will be equal to our x1. You understand? So let's quickly populate the parameter for x2. When x2 is equal to 0, our x2 here will be 0, right? Don't forget our demand for the period 1 was given in the question. Our demand for period 1 was given to be 3. So this one will be 3. And q, when q1 is equal to what? 2. So is equal to 23, sorry, plus 0 plus what? F naught 1. And you know that we actually said our x1 is what is inside this particular bracket, and we're given that. So our x1 here now is 1, right? You know that in the question we're given our x1 to be equal to 1, right? So our f of x1 now, f of x1 is 0. So this one will automatically, because we are given, I didn't mean we are not giving, I didn't mean we're actually not giving when x1 is equal to 1. I did mean what you actually obtain here is 0. Everything here will be nullified, and it will be assuming non-existed. It will be assuming non-existed. So because it was actually given when our x1, because we actually obtain 1 here, and our x1 given in the problem is 1. You understand? And the cost of that particular inventory was given to be 0. So that is why this existed. So this one will now be 0, 23. This makes this one 23. So we populate that here. So let's go for let's go to the next problem. To the next what's it called now? Next cost when x2 is equal to 0 and q1 is equal to 3. So let's go on to the next work. So when s2 is equal to 0 and s3 is equal to off of x2 here will now be what? The setup and the purchase cost for this one is 33. So 33, our holding cost is still 0, right? Our holding cost is still 0. That's 0 plus our off of 0, right? Our x2 plus our d1 minus q1. 33 plus our x2 here is 0. Our d1 is still the same thing because it's fixed for period 1. So 3 minus q is 3. Here our x1, 30 plus f naught is equal to 0. Here our x1 now, our x1 is equal to what? 0 here. Do we have anything like, do we have a okay? So the implication of that is x1 is equal to 0. Do you have anything like this? Because the only parameter we're giving in the question is when x1 is equal to 1. Anything that negates this particular thing will automatically render that particular cost invalid. So for that reason, this is invalid for this particular inventory and this particular quantity. The cost here is invalid. That's why it will be dash. And if you actually perform this same thing for other quantity, you actually see that something of such also happens. So that is why we have dash in all of this. So let's go to the next problem. So when s2 is equal to what? 1, and q1 is equal to 2. So our off of x2 here will be what? We have our purchase and the setup cost to be what? Here to be 23. So 23 plus our holding cost. Our holding cost at this particular point is 1. You understand? So 1 plus our f of 0, that's x2, plus what? D1 minus Q1, right? 23 plus 1, that's 24. That's plus what? When x2 here is what? 1. Our D1, of course, is 3. Our Q1 here is what? 2. Is equal to 24 plus f naught, that's a 4, that is 2, right? So do we have anything when our x1 here is, our s1 here is 2, right? So in the question, we're only given when x1 is equal to 1. So this automatically render this cost invalid if x1 is not 1, because the only parameter of x1 you're given the problem is when x1 is equal to 1, and automatically we're actually also given that cost of x1 to be equal to 0. You understand? So anything that negates when x1 is equal to 1 will render that particular cost to be invalid. So that is why this is invalid. Do you understand? So when for this other one, when x2 is equal to 1 and q2 is equal to 3, our off of x2 is equal to our setup and purchase cost at this particular point is 33, right? Plus our holding cost here is 1, plus so our f naught is equal to what? Our x what? 2, yes, plus our d1 minus q what? Q1. So 33 plus 1, that's 34, right? Plus m naught. So our x2 1 plus our d1 is 3. Don't forget, please, don't mix it. Our what's it called? For you to compute the table for period 1, you are maintaining a fixed demand given in the question. So our D1 here is 3. So and our Q here is 3 too. You understand? So 34 plus F naught, 33, that's 3 minus 3, that is 1. So our x1 here is equal to 1, and we are given the question, you understand? And f of x1 at that particular is 0. So 34 plus 0 is equal to 34. So this one is valid to be 34. So let's go to the next. When x2 is equal to 1, our q is equal to 4. q2 is equal to 4. F of x2, the purchase and the setup cost is 53. That's our holding cost is still 1, right? So our f0 is equal to what? Our x2 plus our d1 minus q1. I mean now, so 53 plus 1, that is 54, right? Plus our x2 is 1, our d1 is 3, right? Our what? Our q1 is 4, right? So 54 plus f naught, 3 plus 1, that is 4. 4 minus 4, 0. Were we given what's called when x1 is equal to 0? We are not given, so this render this invalid. You understand? So that's why it is dash here. And if you do the same thing for when q is equal to 5, 6, 7, 8, we are actually going to obtain something that is not 0. We get an x1 that is not equal to 1. So you can also do it really, but because of time, we won't be able to do that. So let's go to the next. When x2 is equal to 2 and q1 is equal to what? 2. So our f of x2 at this point here, our purchase and our holding cost, our purchase and the setup cost rather is 23 here. It's 23. That's a plus. Our holding cost at this point is 2 plus what? Plus f of 0, that's x2 minus d1 plus d1 minus q what 1. So 23 plus 2, that's 25, plus our x2 here is what? x2 is 2 plus 3 minus what? 2. So 25 plus f naught, that's 5 minus 2, that is what? 3. So it is invalid. Without wasting more time, our x1 is equal to 3 here, whereas in question we're given when x1 is equal to 1. If it's not 1, it is invalid. So that is why we have put that here. So let's go to the next one. When x2 is equal to 2 and q1 is equal to 3. x2 is equal to 2, q1 is equal to 3. You understand? So f of x2 is equal to our purchase and our holding and our setup cost here is 33. 33 plus what? Our holding cost is still 2. You understand? Because we are still working on this rule. So plus f naught, our x2 here what? Our x2, that's our x2 plus d1 minus q what 1. So 33 plus 2, that's 35, plus x2 is 2 plus our d1 is 3 minus what? Q is 3. So here f naught 2 plus 35, of course invalid. So here you understand. So let's go to the next one. When s2 is equal to 2 and our q2 is equal to what? 4. s2 is equal to 2, q1 is equal to what? 4. Our f of x2 is equal to what? Our purchase and holding cost at this particular point is 53. So that's 53 plus our holding cost is still 2 plus f naught x2 plus d1 minus q1. So 53 plus 2, that's 55, plus f naught, our x2 here is what? 2, plus our d1 is 3 minus 4. So 55 plus f naught, 5 minus 1, 5 minus 4, that is 1. So our cost, our f of x, our x1 here is 1. You understand? Which of course is valid. Our f of x1 is what? 0. So 55 plus 0 is 55. You understand? So this one is 55. If you do for when q is equal to 5, q is equal to 6, when q is equal to 7, when q is equal to 8, you are going to get an invalid answer. You understand? So you understand? So let's quickly do for when x, actually have a long way to go really. So when x is equal to, when x s3 is equal to 3, and q1 is equal to 2. You understand? Of course, I'll be very fast with this. f of x2, our purchase and holding cost at this particular point is 23. Our holding cost here at this point is 3 plus f naught my x2 plus d1 minus q1. You understand? This 26 plus f naught, our x2 at this particular point is 3 plus our holding cost is 3 minus 2, right? So 26 plus f naught, 6 minus 2, that is 4, is invalid. It's invalid. So when s3 is equal to 3, q1 is equal to 3. So the holding cost, the setup cost and the purchase cost at this particular point is 33. 33 plus our holding cost is 3 plus f naught. Our x2 is 3. Our demand is 3. Our q is 3. So this one is f of n naught is of 3 is invalid. We're only given when x1 is equal to 1, so it is invalid. So when x3 is equal to what? 3, and q1 is equal to 4. The setup and the purchase cost at this particular point is what? 53. So 53 plus our holding cost is 3 plus 3 plus 3 minus what? 4. F naught 6 minus 4, that is 2, invalid. So we go to the next one. When x3 is equal to what? 3, q1 is equal to 5. So our f of x2 is equal to what? Our setup and purchase cost here is what? 73. That's 73 plus our holding cost is 3, right? Plus what? Our f naught 3 plus 3 minus 5, right? So 73 plus 3, that's 76. F subscript 0, that's 6 minus 5, that is 1. When x1 is equal, our x1 here is equal to 1, which render it valid. And of course, we're given f of x1 to be 0. So this one is 0 plus 76, which is 76. 76. So if you perform, let's do it. Let me just do for one. When x3 is equal to 3 and q1 is equal to what? 6. So f of x2 is equal to what? Our setup and purchase cost here is 93. That's 93 plus what? Our holding cost here is what? 3 plus f naught. Yeah, that's 3 plus 3 minus 6. F naught here is equal to 0. Invalid, like we've established. So 0 dash. Then if you perform the same operation for when q is equal to 7 and q is equal to 8, you're going to get what's it called now? An invalid result. So on to the next. So let's go to the next. When x2 is equal to 4. So when x2 is equal to 4 and q1 is equal to 2. So our f of x2, our setup and holding cost at a particular point is what? 23. Our holding cost at this particular point is what? 4. Our x2 is 4. Our demand is 3. Our minus our q1 is what? 2. So f naught 7 minus 2, that's 5. Plus 27, of course, invalid cost. So we go at the faster pace now. When what? x2 is equal to 4 and q1 is equal to 3. s2 is equal to 4 and q1 is equal to what? 3. F of x2 is equal to our setup and purchase cost at this point is what? 33. Our holding cost is still 4 minus our x2 is 4 plus our demand 3 minus what? 3. That's our f naught 7 minus 3, that's 4. Of course, invalid. So this. So the next one, when x4 is equal to 4 and q1 is equal to what? 4, right? x2 is equal to purchase and setup cost is 53 plus our holding cost 3. x2, not x4. x2 is what? 4. Our demand is 3 minus what? q1 is what? 4. That's f naught is equal to 3. s1 is equal to 3. Of course, is invalid. So on to the next. When what? when x2 is equal to what? 4, and q is equal to what? 5, right? F of x2 is equal to our setup and purchase cost at this particular point is 73. 73 plus what? This is meant to be 4, sorry. Although it's still invalid, but it's meant to be 4. 4 plus what? F naught. Our x2 is 4. Our demand is 3 minus 5. So 70 what? 7 plus 7 minus 5, that is 2, invalid. So our f of what? X, when what? X2 is equal to 5 and Q1 is equal to 6. Our f of x2, at this particular point is what? 93. Our 93 plus what? Our 4 plus our x2 is 5. Our demand is 3. Our Q1 here is 6 minus 6. 93 plus 4, that is 97, right? Plus 8 minus 8 minus 6. 8 minus 6, that's 2. Our x2 is 4, sorry. Our x2 is 4. We are still working on when x2 is equal to 4. Please don't forget. Our x2 is 4. Is 4. So that's 7 plus 3. 4 plus 3, that's 7. 7 minus 6, that is 1. So is equal to 97. X1 here is equal to 1. You understand? So 97 is valid. So if you perform the operation for when Q1 is equal to 7 and Q1 is equal to 8, you actually see that it is invalid. So because of time, let's just cross it out. So let's go to the next thing. When x2 is equal to 5 and Q1 is equal to 2. This one will be quite long, but let's take our time, at least for those that are yet to understand why some are invalid. When x2 is equal to 5, our Q1 is equal to what? 2. Yeah, so so our f of x2 here, our holding and our setup and purchase cost is 23. Our holding cost here is 5. Our x2 is 5. Our demand is 3. That's it, 3. I don't want to make mistake. It's 3. Yeah. Our demand is 3 minus our Q1, which is 2. 8 minus 2, that is 6. Invalid. So when x2 is equal to 5, Q1 is equal to what? 3. You know what? Let us calculate the f of. You understand? Because of course we know that this one will be 33 plus 5. You understand? But we are this is our f of f naught. You actually confirm, ascertain whether it will be invalid or valid. You understand? So our x2 is 5 plus our demand is 3 minus Q1, which is 3. 3. That's 5. It's invalid. When x2 is equal to what? 5, Q1 is equal to what? 4. This one is 53. 53 plus what? 5 plus, that's 5 plus 3 minus 5. minus 5. That's f naught x1 here is equal to 3. Invalid. So on to the next. Five, right? That's 73, right? 73. 5. X2 is 5. Demand is 3 minus what? This one is meant to be 4, right? Sorry, this one is meant to be 4. Of course, it's still invalid. This one will now be 5. 3. Invalid. So when x2 is equal to 5, our q1 is equal to 6, right? F of x2 is 93 here. 93. X2 is 5, demand is 3, q1 is 6. This one will be 2. X1 is 2, it's invalid. So when x2 is equal to 5, our q1 is equal to what? 7. Our q1 is equal to 7. Our purchase and setup cost here is 113. That's 113. Our holding cost is still 5, right? Plus our f naught. This one will be 5 plus 3 minus 7. This one will be 1. Our x1 is equal to 1, of course, which was given the question, and f of x1 is equal to 0. So 113 plus 5, that's 118, which is equal to what? 118. So this place will be 118. If you perform this operation for when q1 is equal to 8, you see it's invalid because it will be negative. What's it called? It will be negative. Sorry, it will be 0, not negative. It will be 0. F of our x1 will be 0 for when q1 is equal to 8. So let's go to the last part of it. So you know what? But let me do it. I don't want to. Let me just do it. I'm just considering time of doing this and uploading as well. So when x2 6 and q1 is equal to 2, f of x2 is equal, our holding cost is 23. That's 23. Our setup and purchase cost 23. Our holding cost is 6. That's 6 plus 3 minus 2, which is what? F naught is x1 is here is equal to what? Is equal to 7. Invalid. So let's go to the next one. When x2 is equal to 6, q1 is equal to 3. So let's cancel this one out first. F of x2, that's to purchase 33 plus 6 plus, that's a 6, 6, that's a 6 plus 3 minus 3. F naught is 6, right? Invalid. So when s2 is equal to 6, q1 is equal to 4. That's 53. 6 plus 3 minus what? 4. F naught is equal to 5. X1 is equal to 5. Invalid. So let's go to the next one. When x2 is equal to 6, q1 is equal to what? 5. It's 73. Yeah. That's 6 plus what? 3 minus what? 5, right? That's 9, that's 4. Invalid. 6. That's 93 plus that's a 6 plus what? 3 minus 6. That F naught here is equal to 3, right? Invalid. So when what? Q1 is equal to 7, have you now? So f of x2 is 113 here plus 6 plus 3 minus 7, right? 113. That's what's it called? F naught. 9 minus 7, that's 2. It's invalid too. So let's put it here. So to the last one now, when x2 is equal to 6, q1 is equal to 8, f of x2 is equal to the purchase and setup cost here is 133. 113 plus 113 plus 6 plus that's 6 plus 3 minus 8. 113 plus 6. So that's 119 plus f naught. 9 minus 8, that is 1. Of course, it is valid. So an f of x, when x1 is equal to 1, f of x1 is equal to 0. So 119 plus 0 is equal to 119. So this is 119. So having obtained, having populated the table, our optimum cost here now, for our optimum cost, we actually consider the minimum cost of when s2 is equal to 0. The minimum cost here is 23. Of course, the optimum solution. So the minimum cost of when x2 is equal to 1 is what? 34. The minimum cost of when x2 is equal to 2, of course, is 55. The minimum cost of when x2 is equal to 3, 76. The minimum cost of when x2 is equal to 4 is what? 97. The minimum cost of when x2 is equal to 5, 118. The minimum cost of when x2 is equal to 6 is 119. The purchase and the setup cost. Sorry, the purchase and setup cost are actually really wrong. It's 133. Sorry, 133. Not 113. 133 plus 6 is 133 plus 6 is 139. Not 119, sorry. 139. So this is 139, not 119. The purchase and setup cost is 130. Sorry, is 133, not 119. 113 that I wrote. So this is 139. So having obtained this particular minimum cost, the optimum solution now. So for when our cost is 23, what is the quantity purchased at that particular point? The quantity is 2. Understand? You have to write it here. At when we obtain this minimum cost. At when we obtain the minimum cost of 34, what is the quantity purchased? Is 3. At when we actually obtain this minimum cost of 55, what is the quantity purchased? It is 4. At when we obtain this minimum cost, what is the quantity purchased? 5. At when we obtain this minimum cost, what is the quantity purchased? 6. At when we obtain this minimum cost, what is the quantity? 7. At when we obtain this minimum cost, what's the quantity? Is 8. You understand? This is your solution for period 1. Now we proceed to period 2.